Hi everyone, this is Jensen with Sutton Ridge Farm.
And Meghan Rittmaster with Foundational Journey.
Welcome to our third video installment in our series of Getting to the Core in 2024.
Yay.
It's March in Minnesota, and it's a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful day to be here with you as well as we look into our next topic of human relationships and mental health. So really, we're going to be talking today about the importance of being with other people.
Yeah, and it's so crucial. This has been well studied in sociology for many, many years of looking at the impact of social connections and relationships and mental well-being and overall physical health too, because it plays a role with both. I mean, there is that connection between our gut and our brain. And so ultimately our survival also depends on our social networks as well.
Sure.
So looking at the quantity and quality of relationships can affect our mental health, our health behavior, physical health, and our mortality risk too. So, I mean, looking at like socialization and the different levels, there's like social isolation, you know, where we have that absence of social relationships. Then there's social integration, so that's the overall involvement of, you know, the relationships. And there are different types of relationships too, you know, with your significant other versus a coworker, or even someone that you meet on the street. Quality of relationships, like I mentioned, we want to really look at those ones that are impactful and bring that positive contribution to us. And then social networks too. So that's that interweb of the social relationships. So there are different components when it comes to socialization.
Well, and every single one of those that you just mentioned, they all affect our holistic being, our health.
Yep, 100%.
So, okay, so Meghan, why don't you dive in a little bit more then into some of these areas?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we have an inherent desire to be around others and have connection with others, just like most other animals as well. And there's even like studies showing that ants have, you know, that desire to be connected with one another. Look at them like moving around in their groups. But, you know, when our social networks start to break down, I don't know if you've ever seen this in your life, or maybe you have a fallout with a friend or a family member or a loved one, it impacts you mentally. It can impact you physically as well, make it difficult to sleep. Like it shakes up your world. So it just shows how much of an impact that has on us. And we do have that desire to be connected and wanted and needed by others and have that community. And
that's a stress point. I'm just thinking of how stressful that can be. And the closer the person is to you, clearly the more stressful that can be. And stress shows it manifests itself physically. You know, you might all of a sudden see a rash, or, you know, it just comes out. It's like it can't hide. So.
Yep. And I mean, even thinking back to way back when, communities and like townships and villages is what helped people thrive, because each person had their own job. You worked together, you helped one another. When anyone was ousted, a lot of times it was not a good outcome for them, and a lot of times survival didn't happen. So we relied upon one another for our survival. As humans, our relationships are complex. They're fulfilling. They can be stressful, but they can build resilience too. They provide us with that sense of connection, with that sense of purpose, provide us with support, and can help with overall health and longevity as well. And, you know, looking at like blue zones, there are so many factors and components to these longer living cities and areas, but human connection plays a huge role in those blue zones as well. We look a lot on, you know, the physical components to it, like the nutrition and how well they're eating and exercise and movement, but there's more to it. They have a huge sense of community and support and well-being within that, which really helps with that living longer.
I'm just thinking here, pausing for a moment, you know, just even on going back to like the stress levels and stuff, it's like, that's why forgiveness is so important. You know, when we're just holding in all of that anxiety and stress and everything, it's like it has to be let go, you know? And anyway, that's a whole nother topic, but just made me think of that. So, and just as it's that back and forth, you know, of like, would you forgive me? And having that response back, I forgive you. You know, that is just a...
Yes.
Everything kind of melts away, you know, and you get to be back on a level playing field.
Yes.
So, anyway.
And even like with chronic stress and stress in of itself, outside of forgiveness, just a lot of times when I'm stressed out, I just need someone to listen.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's like, or something great happens in the day and it's like, I want to share that. I need to share that with someone versus being alone in it. So having that social isolation, that can be, it can hurt. It can really hurt ourselves. And, you know, wanting to share and spread news is a big, I think it's just a big part of being human.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, you know, the social connection, there is that, like I just mentioned, and just like Jennifer just mentioned, can help relieve harmful levels of stress. It can actually release stress-reducing hormones for both the giver and the receiver when caring for another person. And it helps us to learn to care for ourselves better too, and learn healthier habits too. So, you know, who we're surrounding ourselves with can help us implement better lifestyle choices, or help us want to be a better person and do better for ourselves. So it's that leading by example and, you know, spreading that out to others.
True. So those are a lot of the health risks for people lacking in those strong social relationships. So let's look at how we would build and nurture those social relationships.
Yeah, perfect. So there are so many ways that we can build and nurture the relationships that we already have or are looking to have. You know, start with your existing relationships. Reach out to your friends, your family members, maybe people you haven't talked to in a while. It is fascinating. Like, you can, you know, go maybe even years without talking to someone. And it's like, well, they probably forgot about me, or why would they even care if I reached out? It actually can mean a lot, and a lot of times you don't even realize that they're thinking of you too, but someone has to make that first step. And you can rekindle something so beautiful. So start with those existing relationships and turn to work colleagues and friends. Turn work colleagues into friends, sorry. I mean, you're already at the same environment. Find out what you guys have in common. Obviously you work at the same place. I'm sure you have stuff when it comes to work in common. Look for opportunities to be social too. So see what is out there, what's local, what interests do you have? Like, do you want to go learn something? Join a group. So a local group or club, or joining a local church that you've been wanting to try out. And, you know, feel free to try several of them until you find the right fit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and I think too, because we do lead such busy lives and such too, I just want to go back to what you said about looking at the relationships right around you, because you're in the flow together already. So you're already going to be at work, you're already going to be at the gym, you're already going to be at church, you're already going to be at some of these places. So there's synergy there, because we live very busy lives. So if you can kind of lockstep in what your routine already is, that can be a starting place. But then, as you're saying too, you know, look for something new, step out of that comfort zone, do something different. What are some of your common interests that you can connect with other people on, and what are people meeting in your area or something? And so that kind of segues right into what we are doing here, and building those different communities, I guess. We've got food communities, we've got different things going on here now at the farm and at the shed. We're going to have a country line dance night coming up in just like a week and a half. Just a fun time to get out and do something different, you know, just show up, you know. I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to learn with everybody else, and it's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, just different. We've got the we've got Megan's going to talk about it briefly, but we're looking at having a wellness. Ooh, what did we call it? I can't remember now.
A wellness workshop.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're looking into a series, so it's you build upon.
Yeah. So first one's starting in July. So we'll keep you updated on that as more details get finalized. But that's another community of being with like-minded people in a very positive environment, and you're all doing good stuff for yourself too.
Yes. Yeah. And a big thing is even just, taking that first step. And I know we talked about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've ever, been outside or been into places and you look around and it seems like everyone is just on their phone.
Yeah.
Their head is down. They don't want any eye contact. They don't want the interaction. But if you do look around, you will see others who are also doing the same. And it's like, it takes that first person to make that step. Smile. Yeah. It's okay to have small talk at first, even if you don't like small talk. Just one little thing to just, brighten someone's day. And you can build a really beautiful connection in that way. And you can make a huge impact just on someone's day too, just by doing that. So it's
that's a good
more.
thing.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, I think we're good for today. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, and get out there and start connecting. Take care.
Take care.